Tony Hawk games were popular in the late 90s and early 2000s, but their popularity dwindled in later years due to some really lackluster games. My experience with the series is mainly with the Underground games, as while I did play a bit of Project 8, I lost interest in the series at that point. What ultimately got me hooked to the Underground games were the creation features, but given the fact that Tony Hawk's Underground is a 20-year-old game now, I expect that many of the creation options haven't particularly aged well, so let's take a closer look at them. Creating skaters, boards, graphics in Underground 2 and parks is relatively straightforward, given how simplistic the features are, as you are simply placing things down and selecting an outfit. It doesn't take too long to create stuff at all. Creating tricks is a little bit more complicated if you want to make the tricks landable, as you have to be aware that the time taken to perform a trick ultimately impacts how much airtime you need, so proper adjustment is crucial. I do think the menus could have been a little better for creating skaters, but they aren't terrible. Overall, I give the ease of use category an A rating, as I think it's pretty easy to make something in this game. There are a lot of creation modes available in this game, ranging from character creation, trick creation, skateboard creation, and best of all, the park creation. Some of these creation features are better than others though. In terms of character creation, you can adjust all of the important things such as basic size sliders, hairstyles, beards, pants, knee pads, helmets, shoes, socks, shirts, logos and accessories, along with some preset faces to choose from. It's nothing extravagant, but it offers what you would expect from a character creation feature. Parks on the other hand are very simplistic. In an era where we have been blessed with games that come with form level editors, this park editor is rather archaic for today's standards, but that comes with the flip side of it being accessible. Rotations are fixed to 90-degree angles, and you cannot overlap anything besides custom rails, which is the most interesting feature the park creation has. It is decent enough for the time, and you can still make some nice skate parks, but I think that if they were to bring back Creator Park nowadays, they would need to make a lot of improvements. Creating a skateboard offers everything you would expect. You can change grip tape, wheel colour, and you can also change the artwork underneath the board. It might not seem like much, but it's a skateboard. What more would you want to add to a skateboard? Underground 2 adds a creator graphic option, which is basically graffiti you put on walls. It's the same thing as the artwork underneath your skateboard, but in tag form, in the sense that you basically put layers of images together to create a unique image. Create a Trick is essentially combining an assortment of tricks together to create your own custom trick. You're not really creating your own animations or anything, but you can adjust the angles in which your skater flips. Overall, I am pretty satisfied with the amount of creation modes available, though the features within each mode don't particularly feel as fleshed out as one would expect nowadays at least. For this reason, I will give the features category a C rating. The thing that shocked me the most going back to this game was the lack of flexibility each of the modes offered. I was barely able to make some created skaters based on real life people, but I didn't really have much to work with. There are only a few face sets for each skin colour, which is kind of annoying when you want to have a particular face with a particular skin colour. The hair options could be a lot better too, particularly facial hair options. Skateboards have quite a lot of options for artwork underneath, but there aren't many grip tape options sadly. The Creator Park has enough parts to make a basic skate park, but in terms of decor, there really isn't as much as I'd have liked to see. There are some buildings you can choose from, but not many. You can also place some random tiles that when touching them, they force your skater to respawn, such as water, spikes and even lava. I'd say there's enough to make a basic skate park, but I also think it could be better. So the Creator Park is kinda lacking in flexibility overall, but what do you expect from a game released in the early 2000s? It should be noted that Underground 2 does add a little bit more flexibility, but not enough to truly impact my overall thoughts on the category. Overall, I give this category a D rating. Given the fact that these are early PS2 skateboarding games, the character models for the created characters look decent enough for the time, but Underground 1's created characters have definitely not aged the best. That being said, I would say that Underground 2 has aged wonderfully by comparison to Underground 1 in the aesthetics department, but it's still very much a PS2 game, and you have to go into it expecting that. The created skaters blend in well enough with the real life skaters, and that's good enough for me. Just don't colour your trainers pink. It looks horrible and makes your character look weird due to the inability to colour each individual section of the trainer. I shall give the aesthetics category a C rating. As you would expect, skating is the name of the game here, but you are able to get off the skateboard and walk around if you like, which means you can run around the skate parks you create as well as skate on them. Some of the parts you can place down in parks don't really serve much in regards to functional purpose, and if you want to get the most out of the functionality category, you really have to start thinking about possible lines and connecting parts that you think will work. To help with this, you can create gaps, which are essentially custom lines that give you a notification upon performing them. There's also the ability to create a goal, to create your own skating challenges within your own created park. It should also be noted that your created skater doubles as your save file, as they act as a profile for the player, so delete them at your own risk. I will give the functionality category an A rating, as the creator goal and gap features offer a lot of replay value. Now, the biggest problem in regards to limitations is that the creator parks tend to be rather small, and there's little room to place what you want in them, so you have to be extremely selective with what you put inside your skate park to make the most out of your space. I'd say that the rest of the limitations are acceptable, even though they could have let you do more. Given the fact that this is a PS2 game though, a lot of these limitations make sense. Despite this though, I still have to give the limitations category a D rating. Overall, it is what I expected of an early 2000s PS2 game. It's archaic for sure, but I won't deny that there is still some appeal to be had here. While it hasn't aged the greatest, if you are looking for a skateboarding game with creation features, the Underground games are arguably the best available option on PS2.